Should you start a business when you're desperate or when you are flush with cash?
Oh, both.
Oh, really?
Always start a business.
Create.
This is great.
I mean,
Okay. I want a business where Aaron is our therapist. He's on call at any time.
Way too expensive. Welcome to Idea Drop. We are not experts, but merely dilettantes of the world. We foster interest in many topics, but have no depth of knowledge, and we've decided to major in the majors. We embrace the 80-20 of life and say, no, I will not be the expert. I will simply try, siege, conquer what I can. Warriors die, but in business, we just move on. We are the high school jock who just couldn't quite commit, and by golly, we're doubling down on it. Welcome to Idea Drop. We believe in crazy ideas like the thermostat should work and Kindle should wear things other than binary clothes. Here we are, Idea Drop, the podcast that Betty White would listen to if she were alive.
Just like we've listened to Betty White many times.
I have. I like
in
her.
our hearts. I really don't agree with the jock sentence.
No, it's great.
It was more of a acoustic guitar and,
Oh.
a little relaxed music theory vibe.
Yeah, actually, that's I did get a degree in music theory, so I never did any jock. I was really bad jock. I'm not athletic at all.
Did you play any sports?
Yeah, but the weird ones. I did snowboarding and ping pong.
What? You did table tennis and it's called a bat.
Yeah, okay,
You
sure.
punk. It's not
Yeah.
even ping pong.
Sorry.
That tells you how good Dustin is.
Not
I'm
very.
not sure if this is PG-13, but are thongs non-binary?
Oh.
Because
So
when you
our
were saying
song's non-binary.
things, my mind went to things I'd like to see Kendall in.
Whoa.
Wow. This is a whole business idea
My
that I
wife
had
is
for today. We were
listening
just
to
gonna...
this episode right now. We're live on air.
That's hilarious.
I did wear a singlet in high school. I was a wrestler. Yep. And there was
Okay.
literally a hole in the butt of one of my singlets.
All right, guys, this was an
wasn't
experiment on
there
how we
before
can
we
tank our
started.
entire audience as fast
Sorry,
as
let's
possible,
get to
and
the
First
we're doing
45
good.
seconds.
Yes.
I'm going to introduce this new voice that you're hearing.
Oh, my
This
God.
is my friend Aaron. Aaron, I think you're interesting. Let me butcher this and then you can correct it. I think you're interesting for a few different reasons, but the things that the people should care about are you built teams for large enterprises that are doing 8 figures. Did the music label do more than 8 figures?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 9 figures, 8 and 9 figure orgs. You have turned around at least one, maybe more, 7 figure orgs, and you build shit relentlessly. So there's this builder part of you that I really connect with, and now you're like doing a distillery or something. I don't even know, like what's your future, but I think that you probably have some things you can offer the audience on how to escape the 9 to 5, how to fight fair with your boss. I don't know, how to have children. Do you have children?
None.
Oh, why not, Aaron?
No, this is a great thing. I support this no children thing. I'm great with that.
Yeah.
I think
I'll have them for both of you.
I think the standard, both biologically and socially, is that when you get married, you have children.
Yeah.
And I don't think that everybody follows the rules biologically and socially. So
On purpose or on accident?
maybe both.
Yep.
I think my wife and I were waiting for that biological tick to really kick in and never really felt it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to force ourselves to do something socially because that's what everybody else does when you get married.
You don't want to do what everybody else does?
Depends.
How rebel are you? Did you grow up in a cult?
50% rebel. I did. I grew up around a cult that my dad kind of decided that he was going to start, and
Wait,
and I was,
so your father started a cult?
yeah, and the God was going to come back in the year 2000, and then that didn't work because he didn't come back, and
No.
then
Just the computers were
I thought it
going to
was
all fail.
2012.
it was like Y2K on spirituality.
Oh my God. And you're not joking.
No. So that kind of was an interesting twist on being a teenager, having people come up to you going like, "Hey, you should come lead us into the promised land with your father." And I'm like, I'm sweeping the
Wait,
floors
so
here.
as a teenager, were you kind of not into what your father was doing?
No. My parents got separated when I was a kid. I was 4.
So you were used to saying, I'm not sure if I fully commit to your ideas. I have to choose, and I have to like really be aware of the choices ahead of me.
Yeah, what it really did is it plunged me into an existential crisis as a preteen.
That's a great preteen activity. I hit mine in college. I'm kind of jealous of you. You
behind
attacked
the
it
curve,
early.
Dustin.
I know. Shame on me.
Wait. Yeah, doesn't everybody go through an existential crisis when they're 9?
Here's what I found though. People who haven't gone through an existential crisis at any point in their life, I usually hate.
Well, I would just say I don't trust yet.
Yeah, no, like
Right,
you are 5 years
right.
away from being an awesome human.
Yeah. Or one exact.
Yeah, or one really
one
traumatic.
year of a existential.
One really intense year.
existential crisis.
This is great. Okay, this is perfect for me because I've not actually talked to you a lot, Aaron, and since I found out you were coming on the podcast yesterday, I made a choice to not talk to you a lot between yesterday and today. So it's really exciting for me right now that I've held on all that energy, and I want to get to know you a little bit. So you've done a lot of businessy things, and you've also helped your father start a cult, which I think is a great intro.
The second cult.
There were 2. That's fantastic. This is great. I also have cult experience as well, and we should talk about that at some point. Can I ask you a few business questions?
You can.
Okay. Can you just let's get it out of system. Can you tell me one business that you failed?
Ooh.
Oh man.
No, just one, Aaron.
Just one?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a fun one.
I developed a product back probably 11 or 12 years ago called Love Tanks. And the premise was that you have to put on this board, you have your love languages, right? And like, I feel loved by acts of service.
Oh yeah, so it was like the 2008 Christian fad, right?
Exactly.
You're riding that fast.
Yeah. Oh, totally. So what you do is you put a little indicator of how you're feeling in that area, and your spouse,
Like a marble?
Like
you drop a
a-
marble into a jar?
Okay. No, it was a magnetic little indicator, but as a 5. So let me just be honest. What happened is when I got into marriage, I didn't know what wives are, and I didn't know how women worked. I was out of the water in every situation.
Yes, the cult trauma. We get it.
I needed a literal breakdown of exactly how my wife was feeling at any given moment.
This is so healthy. I actually think this is great. I would fully support this in any marriage.
He's a newlywed. I don't know if you know that.
Oh yeah.
No, it's real because people infer things all the time and they just do it poorly.
I think you made it not just fail. I have a product for you.
Good. This is good. Wait, okay, how far did you get it? Did you bring it to market?
So we brought it to prototyping, market. I got to the place where I needed $30K to get my first shipment from China of product. I had an audience that really, really, really wanted it. So it was a good idea.
Yeah.
I had all of the prototyping and specs done. I just didn't have the money. And after a bit, I got bored.
Okay, that's good. I actually like that. Did you test the market?
We had 15 test couples.
Oh, nice.
And the feedback was, this really helped us. We learned how to communicate with each other. We learned when each other is actually feeling needing to be met in certain times.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really great product.
Do you think if you were to bring the
got bored.
product to market today, would it work?
Oh, knowing what I know now, yes.
Really?
Whoa.
How would you do it?
Yeah, because at the time, like I think being stuck is a myth in a lot of cases, and so what I did is I allowed me feeling stuck on the money side to dictate my actions, and so the feeling really dictated the actions in that
You
case.
took. Yeah.
And so now I don't think being stuck is a myth. I think being stuck is a choice in so many ways.
Damn.
And now I don't feel stuck, and I haven't felt stuck in years. And
Are you
so,
serious?
Yeah.
Wait, when did this change? When did this paradigm shift happen?
Question I wasn't prepared for.
You can't prepare for idea drop.
I know it. I'm getting
Was
that.
Betty White
and now
prepared
I'm wondering what I signed
when
up for.
Death knocked on her door.
Are you ever?
I think some people are ready
In
to
Switzerland,
surrender.
they are. Hey,
Eh?
It's good
Ready to
suicide
give
joke,
up?
guys. All right, keep going.
I think I reached that the conclusion that stuck is a myth is when I believed it so heavily that it almost led me to when the only option to stuck becomes let me exit the world. I think you ask yourself a very deep question of, is stuck real or not?
Whoa.
Wow. So you got cornered in some existential angst, and it just kind of bitch slapped you into the
Wow.
forward motion that you.
He's
Right.
good with words.
Right. Well, it's just, I don't know words. I know feelings. And I think at the end of the day, really, like, much of the external world is an analog for our internal world. And much of what we think is important in life and we think is valuable in so many circumstances are just external processing of our internal world. So we take our problems and we put them into somebody else and we say they're the problem. But the problem is actually the fact that that person will be around us the rest of our lives. So if they're the ones causing misery, then we're always going to be miserable. But in reality, that person can be whatever they are. If I recognize that I'm going to be around them the rest of my life, then it starts to ask the question of how am I going to respond to them so that I'm not in agony consistently. And
Puts
so
the power back into your court.
right, it's the realization that at the end of the day, my internal world is something that I have to own, and I can cope by putting it into the external world, but that doesn't actually solve the problem.
We call those boundaries.
Right.
I feel like I have to call my wife now.
Yeah. Hi, honey.
So I legitimately, I remember being in not to go into a long story, but I remember being in a boardroom and I had this guy that was in the boardroom and I met with him before this meeting and I was like, hey, I have this idea. We should go and do this and this and this. And I'd really like to pitch this. And what do you think about it? And he's like, this is an amazing idea. I love it. We should do it. I'm on board. You have my vote. Like, let's go for it. And I get into the boardroom and I'm pitching my idea. And the first voice to speak up was his. And he said, this is terrible. I hate it. I think you're going to drag things down.
What?
And I'm not behind it. And I'm like, You're
a dickhead.
Yeah, you're a dickhead.
You can't.
Can I say that word?
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole.
You're a shithead.
You are a
No, you can't cuss on this podcast.
asshole. I was gonna say because my feelings were all of the cuss words in one. But but I was walking away from that and I was royally angry. I was like, I want to just destroy something, like deep anger, because to me, this also represented me not being able to go after the thing that I wanted to. And there's all these things. And I realized I was going down the hall and I was like, this guy will be in every boardroom I'm ever going to be in. And so am I ready to be running with my demons the rest of my life? And am I ready to be this angry the rest of my life?
So what'd you do? So
I started to ask the question, what made me so angry? And, to be honest, I want to, my past is a little bit interesting, as we've discussed before.
Yeah, you started a cult. Yeah.
I remember being in a
Really
position
escalated.
where, I felt like failure was not an option. And I think that's something that a lot of people are, they have a fear of failure. And I asked myself, okay, I hated that because it looked like I could fail in that boardroom and that person was causing me failure. But at the end of the day, I can be angry at them for causing me failure, which may be true. Maybe they are causing me to fail. But my response from that is is because of a fear of failure.
Which, do you think that's a fear of rejection? Do you think a fear of failure typically is if I fail, then I'm rejected?
I think I think it's actually on a few levels. It's fear of rejection because you have love and belonging. It's fear of losing safety because if I don't have a job, then I don't have resources or physiological needs met. It's actually, in those moments, and I think this is normal human behavior whenever anybody is challenging our position.
It's Maslow. You're describing Maslow.
Maslow's needs. You look at self-actualization and self-esteem and all of these different dynamics that not just emotionally but limbically are coalesced into that moment, and you just want to respond and react, and it's really easy to get there because I believe that's fundamentally being human. And so the problem is that's a normal part of being a human, is being in that moment where everything is wanting to tell you to punch somebody.
It's called anxiety.
Yeah.
It's permanent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, when did this happen? Can you give me?
Oh gosh.
Timeline, please.
5 years ago. This was after running away from all of those emotions by working so hard that I almost lost my marriage.
Wow.
Almost lost I started having heart issues. I was working from 7 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock at night, trying to use work as a placebo or a thing that I could use to solve this anxiety and these problems.
Yeah.
And so I'm, and I think in that part of my life, I'm looking for every opportunity I can to run away from the pain.
Yeah.
Versus just recognizing that pain is a part of being a human. And so that moment for me, that boardroom, was the recognition that this pain will be there the rest of my life.
Dude, I love this. Like, this is a huge part of my life philosophy. Everybody's like, no, I'm going to solve this problem. And I'm so big on you just don't. Actually, it's going to suck forever. And you have to make friends with the shit.
Yeah. I'm going to rest in this problem.
Yeah. Like, no, it's like,
Right.
Anyway, but
this is
awesome.
There's a very and like I said, this is not an assignment of people doing things badly. It's just humanity. It's normal. It's this thing where when there's a threat, my response is very self-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
I need to protect myself, and then once myself is safe, my family, and there's this protection. But in a lot of cases, I believe to sometimes be effective, you have to look at the circumstances cleanly as possible, and I'm going to maybe butcher this, but you have to look at what is best for everybody in the circumstance or the other person. I've experienced this with my wife. That's why wives are amazing, is because they make you face yourself. And so you have this moment where you go, you are my enemy, but if I treat you as my enemy, this isn't going to end well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm my own enemy.
So what does this mean? I am my own enemy. So if I don't learn how to, in those times where that entire ecosystem of anxiety and fear and, chemicals and limbic responses, if I don't have a handle on myself enough to know how to respond, then how can I can't bring something that's always beneficial for other people. And so for me, in that moment, it was a fear of failure. Yes. And those are tied to things we have, for me, that was being a kid and one of my parents saying, I'm a failure as a parent because you're a failure as a child. And I'm going, I can't be a failure. I can't be a failure. I can't be
Say
a failure.
it again.
I'm a failure as a parent because you're a failure as a child.
You were told that?
Yes.
At what age?
I was 8, 9, 10. You're kind of like not quite preteen.
Do you have memories before that? Do you remember being 7, 6, 5?
I do, but
yeah,
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have very early memories.
Wow.
So you get to this place where you have all of these things that history has taught you. Okay, you can't be a failure because if you're a failure, everybody else around you fails, or you don't have your needs met, or you have all these things. And so you get to this place where it is very easy and natural to respond in those moments from that fear, from that place. And so I think the goal is, in so much of life, at least initially in our lives, we want to run away from it, whether it's addiction or it's my phone or it's, I'm going to, get away from it. I'm going to try to leave it. I'm going to put it on Netflix and watch my problems away. I think
like that one. I prefer that one.
Watching Netflix, watching your problems go away.
I listen to Parks and Rec most evenings at about 11 p.m.
That's great.
I don't have to watch it anymore.
Listen, you said Parks and Rec, and I was like, can we go watch it now? Like, I'm a Parks and Rec fan. But I think what we do sometimes is we don't realize what the meaning behind what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was that moment in life where I recognized, wait a minute, I've been running away from pain. I've never really faced it. And I've tried to cover it. I've tried to make it feel better. I've tried to use all of these things from, my status, my sense of power, my amount of money, my and honestly, alcohol and whatever else, body chemistry I can use to solve this problem. I'm like,
Mushrooms are trending.
Are they?
Yeah,
You didn't know
right now.
this? Go into Zoomies.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Just all kinds of psychedelics are trending now. It's on the logos.
Yeah, you
of
don't even need to
Zoomies
fly to
clothing.
Amsterdam anymore.
Wow.
No,
Go north
it's
of
just-
the border.
Go to any high school.
Is it a high school thing?
Dude,
Man.
No.
go to Zoomies. I'm
High-
not kidding.
High school? That's fascinating. This is interesting. I have a question for you that kind of is kind of like playing into this. You are a man. You've built several businesses. You've been involved with businesses. There is like the age-old question: should you start a business when you're desperate or when
Ooh.
you are flushed with cash?
Oh, both.
Oh, really?
Always start a business.
Create.
This is great.
I mean,
Okay. I want a business where Aaron is our therapist. He's on call at any time.
Way too expensive.
The problem is I need new branding for it because the rapist is just therapist with the space. And I don't want
Let me
that
see if it's
in
open.
my head.
Let me Google that really fast.
Oh my gosh.
the problem is you really want to be in a position where you're having a discussion with somebody who's made as many mistakes as possible to know
That's
what not to
right.
do.
That's right. I would like to index what not to do based on Aaron's life.
It's the what not to do index.
Oh my gosh.
That's the business.
Ooh. that's a good
what not to
notion list.
Yeah, everybody talks about like, hey, love your people, but what's better is don't hate them.
Okay. Idea 2. Therapists get a hold on you and it's a monopoly on your mind. So I want an auditing service for your therapist. So you pay someone to come audit if they are trapping you in a dark, dark place and they have full control over your life.
Whoa.
Kind of like that. Kind of like that.
I want to bring levity to pain because pain and levity are human experiences.
bring
They
pain to
need to
pain.
coexist.
I want to bring pain to pain. Okay.
Coexist,
is
and
hilarious.
I mean, I on some level, I don't know if this is true for everybody that's a human, but at least what I think I've seen is you spend the first part of your life running away from pain. Usually the second part of your life is realizing that you can't run away from it.
Yep. And then all your friends die.
And all your friends die. I actually think
family
there's
members.
a third level.
Okay.
I think there's another level. And I don't do it well. I do it well 30% of the time,
Okay.
which is understanding that pain is actually benefit. Pain will actually help you create what you're looking for, because it's, you know, I could use 50 analogies. It's like, go work out and you're going to feel pain. It's like, whatever. But I think the mastery comes in recognizing that pain is necessary and then choosing it.
So I was at this conference and I watched this beautiful little demonstration of Danny Silk on the edge of a stage going, you have 2 choices. One is to choose to change, or one is pain will make you change. Either way, you're changing. So pick one.
Right.
I prefer to choose
Right.
what I change next. Like, it's still painful. All
Yep.
change is discomfort.
Yep.
When you move, we all are like,
Yeah.
it sucks. Why do we help each other? Empathy. Empathy. We help each other move because of empathy.
Yeah.
So
You're always learning something, no matter what. You're a human. That's just natural, intrinsic human behavior,
which is uncomfortable.
which is uncomfortable. So if you're always learning something, why don't you have a better grasp over what you're learning?
That's good. No, I disagree with that. I don't think that everybody's moving through empathy all the time. I think empathy is an advanced emotion. We have to teach children empathy, and it's real. There are a
you
lot of
basically
books that
saying
talk about emotion, how they
sociopaths?
move through time, even self-awareness. There's a book, The Self-Conscious and the Bicameral Mind. Sounds really weird, but it's a huge argument how
say it
self-awareness
again.
didn't come.
The self-conscious and what
the
mind?
bicameral mind.
I didn't go to college.
Yeah, basically, it's making the case that self-awareness didn't happen until the last 1,000 or 2,000 years. It started to develop.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Like in human history.
yeah. No, seriously. So empathy is directly tied to that. No, I don't think that. I think in your best moments, you are using empathy to move forward.
Wow.
However, in your worst moments, you're not. You're using other emotions like anger and desire. Right? Rapists are not using empathy. They're using pure desire. It's
Yeah.
animalism. Right? It's
Yeah. So I'm describing change. I'm saying like what makes us help someone through pain is, to be fair, like an advanced emotion. But the change itself, moving is change. And I think we move because we often want to. You want a bigger house. It's going to be uncomfortable to move and paint the walls.
yeah.
It sucks.
The first thing you said, the first part of that sentence. Can you say it again?
No, I don't remember that far back. I'm a goldfish.
You're a goldfish.
She's a goldfish. That's
That
so
was
funny.
longer than 3 seconds ago.
hilarious. Wait, you can't do that unless you have an idea. Do you have an idea?
I need a tool that allows me to recall the last 15 seconds of my life, because I usually can't recall it.
There's so many movies about this.
There
but
are
it's just-
wearables with AI for that.
Yeah. Psychology is weird. I have a really weird psychology thing, and Kendall's going to squeam with this one. but he's gonna squirm.
I'm gonna squeam actually.
Yeah.
I like screaming.
Oh God!
I don't even
Is
know
that
what
a
that
squirm
is.
squeam?
Okay, guys, I'm really interested in OnlyFans because it is really strangely libidinally tied to every guy's
Libidinally?
libidinally tied. So essentially, you have this desire to get to this place that you can't get, and then you're also marrying that desire to a person that you can't have, and so that's why OnlyFans is so successful.
People want what they can't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you could start a business writing literature for OnlyFans stars.
Sure.
You contact
course you
them, you
can.
say, "Hey, I'm going to write literature."
Around you.
for
You're
you.
the brand.
Yeah, for you. It's just normal literature, and you can use
Sure.
AI to get halfway there. What do you think? Good business, bad business?
I mean, if the goal of the business is to make money, yes. If the goal of the business is to add value into the world, no. I think it's a binary.
I don't think you actually need to add value in the world. I'm not fully sold on that.
I do.
Well, value is subjective, but at the
Yes.
end of the day,
Yeah,
Amen
totally.
and agreed.
Okay,
You
that was
said the word
that was a
AI.
terrible transition. Here's a business. No, let me tell you about a business idea. Oh yeah,
you
keep going.
said the word AI though, and that's the hot topic. So at the end
yeah.
of the day, you'll make money.
I have a lot of AI business ideas actually. Oh, did I delete them all? Lame.
AI podcast hosts.
I don't think that would be
shit.
good. I think that'd be bad actually.
They're coming for our jobs.
No, because
Dustin.
Joe, they did it with Joe Rogan and Steve Jobs, right? Did you
and
hear
it was
that?
good.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was not enjoyable to listen to, but it was totally
Yeah, but
Good.
give it time, man.
no. I totally
It'll
agree
be
with that.
better.
Yeah.
Oh no,
6
absolutely. Or the AI interview a celebrity. Have you seen that one?
You know?
That one's cool. You just say, hey, I want to talk to Napoleon, and then boom, you're chat botting with Napoleon.
Let me give a business idea.
Yeah.
Okay, the goal of the podcast, Aaron, is to help people escape the 9 to 5. Or if they've already escaped, maybe catch their cash flow before they die. Like sometimes it's just, I escaped. I was laid off. I mean, there's a lot of that going around right now. Now what? And you're trying to build the plane on the way down. So a lot of times I like to think about this as like the first million, the top line revenue, the first 7 figures. How are we going to get there? People should take this whole, I'm going to lease somebody's house and then Airbnb it more seriously. It's just a contract change. You basically just have to convince somebody to remove a clause from a rental contract that allows you to Airbnb it. And the economics are quite nice. Now, this is a whole thing. Don't go buy the courses. Don't follow gurus. I want to beat that. Go lock down a lease. Lots of crazy landlords who won't check your financials will give you a lease. Go give it to a traveling nurse. Furnish it and give it to a traveling nurse. It takes it takes so much of the risk out for you, and it cash flows beautifully, and you can do it like 7 times.
Define give it.
Yeah. So this
what?
nurse is going to rent it out to her friends, or no, this is
Traveling nurses, so you get paid
Yeah.
you get a stipend from their company. Traveling nurses like do furnished rentals for 6 months, 12-month terms, 18 months. I had one in my house for 18 months. I think at the time we were paying $800 for our mortgage, and when we were Airbnb it out, we were getting $2,300 a month on average. But the nurse would give me $1,800 plus utilities, which is $2,100, and I never had to turn over or clean anything.
You're thinking too small.
Okay,
oh
fix
yeah.
it.
What would you say?
Wow.
So the question is, how many industries do that?
Please
specifically
expound.
like
How many industries move a worker from one location to another to accomplish a job?
I'm using a common anecdotal example. Actually, I lied. The person in my house was not a traveling nurse. She was here for the concrete company. It was 18 months, but it was the same thing.
That's funny.
I went on Craigslist and I said, housing for traveling nurse, and the concrete, auditor.
So it's easy. It's a commercial Airbnb that allows companies to lock in a corporate rate.
Yeah, and if you Google furnished housing per diem, Google those words, then you will find multiple platforms that help people rent these out and help people who want to find a rental connect. They just pay like 50% higher than market rates. So
This is actually really, so when I was for a season of my life, I did a turnaround out of a roofing company, and we would send roofers from
That's
out
right.
to different places, and
To
they would have
different
to be there
cities.
for 3 months doing a large commercial project, and we'd find the cheapest hotel possible.
That's
The
right.
interesting thing about what you're saying is most of the time, people who are renting Airbnb are maximizing on the marketability of their space. So they're spending a lot of money
Right.
on those spaces, which is increasing the cost of what they need to return. To be as a commercial, in the commercial sense, they're not in the space a lot.
No,
and
they don't
the people,
care.
they don't care. They don't need all the amenities and all the
But
things.
people who look on Airbnb care. They buy it for they rent it for the photos.
Mhm.
So it just is a nice arbitrage, and I like running away from where the hype is and going to the fringes because that's where the biggest margins are. So it's just a better, and you don't have to do this with cash flow. You don't need money or not a lot of it to pull this off. You could be working like a day job, and you can go convince somebody to rent you a house, and then you can go on Google and put someone in that house.
So the space that's most untouched in the hotel business, because that's the analog, right? Well, we're gonna go to an Airbnb instead of a hotel. So
Yep.
hotels to a certain degree in the market have lost the business of individuals going on vacations, and that's kind of the focus of Airbnb.
Yeah.
But the other segment of hotels business is commercial, and that's what's sustaining them. And I'm not
Yep.
against hotels. I love hotels.
He loves hotels.
But that's a whole section of the market that's not actually really disrupted in that section. So having a commercial
Yep.
Airbnb approach for almost any company that's like, hey, let's send people out for a conference. They're going to be at a conference for all day, and they don't need
Brilliant.
the hot tub.
Okay, for commercial Airbnb experiences, I want to be the contract fetching company. I want to go to the roofing company that needs to put 30 roofers out at a new city, and I want to go get them a contract with multiple Airbnb hosts. I'm going to go negotiate the long-term leases. They're going to get stability, but we're going to get a discount, and I keep 20% of the money I save you.
Billions.
I think it'll get
Well,
you $3 million.
No, I don't think billions. I do think it's a hustle. It's a hustle, and it's a
It's a
great
hustle.
hustle. And
Yeah.
you could eventually scale
It's a
it.
solo hustle.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a fantastic hustle.
a
It
good
would
one.
actually work,
If I'm ever out of a job, I might just do
dude. I'm moving, and if
Mhm.
somebody did that to me, I would say yes right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Go
for sure.
find me this. I'll pay you the.
Yeah, I'm getting a rental because I just don't want the headache, right? But if somebody says I'll take the headache,
And that exists for normal
Yeah.
rentals. So let's.
It's actually kind of a cool thing because you could combine that with normal business rentals. How many companies are doing the like, hey, come rent our office space? It's like WeWork, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you're now kind of coalescing this
if-
ability to have a business rental space and in the
Whoa.
same platform a residential space. So you as a company just have to sign one, let's call it an SLA, let's call it
Yeah.
any form of agreement.
Wait.
and now I have
I'm gonna play acronym police. SLA is service level agreement.
Yeah, there it is. So
Yep.
when you sign up for Airbnb, you sign an SLA is kind of the
Yep.
idea. But now you're giving the company the ability to find all of their space needs on one platform, but because
That's
you're
right.
also adding in the travel component, you are now more competitive than just the WeWorks.
It's a good business.
I like this. I like this.
Dustin, you got one?
I've got a few actually. I'd like to do a couple of them real fast, and then I'd like to give you one that I think is maybe there's something to it. Okay.
Two bad ones and then a good one? That's
Yeah,
what I
let me
just
do.
heard you
Okay,
say.
so here we go. Themed leggings. So I saw this. I saw this online the other day. I was going through Instagram. It's like, boom, leggings. Targeting knows exactly how to get me. But then I showed it to my wife, and I was like, babe, do you want these? And she's like, oh, I like these. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get these for Christmas. I go to it. It's $88. It can't cost $88.
The
It's just-
leggings were
yeah,
$88?
$88.
They're
bucks.
$6, $7.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, this is a huge markup. This is a great industry. And it's not very often. You could do themed leggings for every single holiday.
My
Boom,
gosh.
go out there. Just do it. That's arbitrage waiting to happen.
I propose that the margins are that big because white males are uncomfortable running that business.
Oh, it could be.
Think about it.
Yeah, that's not.
I mean, I'd be uncomfortable running that business.
I want to be in the leggings.
I would
don't
not be
wanna run the
uncomfortable. I
business.
would literally be like, hey, babe, you want to do this with me? And I'd do it with my wife. It'd be so fun.
You should.
I have to be running, like for me, I want to run a product that I not believe in, yes, also take part in.
But if they were on your wife,
Yeah, it's
okay. So the designs get to get crazy. Could you do printed leggings on demand? Could you hire an artist, get your own art applied to these leggings, and pay $120 for those?
I mean, yeah. Theoretically, obviously, with enough.
I mean, I have pictures I would draw to put on my wife's leggings.
interesting. I mean, okay, there you go. I'm gonna move on to the next idea. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Globes of famous shows. So it's just a globe of Game of Thrones, of whatever famous.
Whoa, with their
Lord of the
lands,
Rings.
like
yeah, with
Middle
their
Earth.
lands. Yeah, it's Middle Earth or whatever it
Whoa,
is.
they're globes of it.
Yeah.
Dustin,
What do you think?
it's hard on the licensing front, brilliant on a product
good
thing. So
point.
harder to pull off, brilliant on the license. So if you made this overseas
Yeah.
anonymously
Right.
and you just broke all of their,
Yeah,
you know.
that's how I do most of my things.
Yeah, that's,
so
that's
so
what
just go start your business in China.
he did miss his
No,
calling in
not
marketing.
in China. That's what people
He
say.
really did.
No, I don't like doing business in China. It's not fun. Taiwan is the spot.
Taiwanese.
Taiwan follows something called the Berne Convention, which is a treaty that a lot of countries have agreed to be a part of.
Yeah.
Which essentially is if you copyright a product in the U.S., if they follow the Berne Treaty, you can also be liable in those countries.
Wow.
I meant Cambodia is what I was saying.
Oh,
So, yeah,
Cambodia.
Cambodia.
I don't know if Cambodia
no idea.
has signed the Berne Treaty.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But, probably fine.
That's
but
hilarious.
Taiwan has
Taiwan
signed it.
could come
and-
shut you down.
and
Or
they
okay, if you
can-
wanted to do this, here's what you do: you buy a port, and then in the port you get a ship, and you get that ship, and you sail it out to sea. You start your business out there, and then you sell real estate on your ship that can start overseas businesses, and you're the non-liable holder of it all.
Find a company, find a country in the EU that has kind of a mediocre relationship to the Berne Convention. So actually something like Germany might be a good example.
Really?
And then just sell to all the countries around you. Because it's called an OSS, a one-stop shop. which
Germany would be
essentially
mediocre.
means-
Germany runs the E EU.
I know, but if you can produce right, but U.S. copyright law in those countries is a little bit tricky. So
I
if
see.
you
They don't want to admit that they should be following our copyright laws.
yeah, so if you just if you get the EU, you have 26 countries.
Can you? So I've actually never started an overseas business. I've thought about this with starting gambling type of businesses. I've really wanted to do that for a long time. How would you legitimately do this? Tomorrow you wake up and you want to start an overseas business. What do you do?
I go find somebody who's good at starting overseas
That's
businesses.
terrible.
Oh, baller
So
leadership
sad.
move.
No, I mean the reality is it's like data, right? It's like okay, everybody got up in arms about GDPR and data regulation, but every country has their own data laws. So in order to go into a country and not be liable, you have to have legal advice in every country, and it just becomes this thing. So there are services out there when you're ready to take your business international that will help you navigate all of that.
Yeah.
And my advice in that case, it's like HR, right? It's like there are so many laws and so many things. Unless you're ready to hire a deep expert in HR in your company, go outsource it.
This is exactly why I use tools like Shopify, anything like that, because I don't want to deal with regulations. I want to do that. Anyways, guys, I have something for you.
Whoa, you have something
Yeah.
for us.
Have you ever had one of these? Tell me what you think it is.
Are we having it now? Do you have a bottle of a Lagunitas zero alcohol hoppy refresher?
Let's see if this works. Somebody gave me this this tool. Do you have an opening device?
I have
I'm not
everybody.
It's on
Everybody
his
who's
key
I'm
ring.
not good at this.
everybody
Yeah,
who's
please.
anybody carries a bottle opener on them.
I just
NorCal,
carry
maybe.
tools. Yeah, I have this.
Everybody who likes beer with friends.
Okay,
Wow.
so I think there's a huge market for this.
This is non-alcoholic hop water.
Yeah,
for
this is
people
the
not
segue.
looking.
So, non-alcoholic beverages. So this is your first one right here. This is a non-alcoholic beer. Please take a drink. How does it taste to you?
Like fizzy water.
Like fizzy water, a little bit of hoppy flavor in
Oh.
there.
Oh,
I mean, I was just drinking a hazy IPA, so I
Wow.
can't tell the difference.
So-
Which is the point.
This
Much-
is, pardon?
much better than a seltzer.
Oh, much better than the seltzer.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is a lot better than a White Claw, etc.
Oh, extremely, extremely. So in LA right now, there are these non-alcoholic bars that are starting up, and they're awesome. You go
Whoa.
there, you get mocktails. It's a beautiful
Whoa.
thing because everybody's kind of like, I've had so many work meetings where there's alcohol. I'd like to have one where there's not. Right? This is a
That's what I
real
was saying
issue.
this morning to Dustin.
Yeah, it's a real issue,
Yeah.
right? I think this market is pretty saturated, but the market that's not is non-alcoholic spirits. And you, my friend, have
Spirits?
experience in this market a little
Non-alcoholic
bit.
spirits?
Yeah, so you just literally, it's flavored water, probably with a lot more spices. It's kind of tough because you have to get that little bit of bite that alcohol gives it. So you have to work with it. But I think there's a huge market for it. What do you think?
If it's a part of recovery, post-COVID alcoholism, I mean, it's off the charts.
This is amazing.
It's good, right?
I would drink this normally,
Mhm.
and I drink a lot of. I don't drink. I drink alcohol strategically.
Okay.
I mean, you're creating fancy cocktails in my experience all the time. So he's like one of those witches that you go to and they put a bunch of stuff in a cauldron and then it comes out and it turns you into a frog. That's what Aaron does in his spare time.
So the how do I say this? I don't own a speakeasy, but I am very familiar with one. And I don't own a distillery, but I may be a part of a group of
Wait, are you doing the club hack or how are you doing this?
club hack. What's the club hack?
Like if you make something a club, then you can kind
He's
of
a part of a
skirt
club.
around laws and things like
He's
that.
a part of a club.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay,
There's a
cool.
group of people, undefined people, who do things that are discovering things in certain areas that.
And unbusiness related revenue comes in, and we don't know where.
No revenue.
No revenue.
That's
No
a
revenue.
line.
Oh, that's the line?
It's not. That's the
No
line.
contracts, no revenue.
Nope, no revenue.
Okay.
However, a
We
lot
are
of fun.
teaching so much. A lot of information is caught more than taught.
Whoa,
I like this more than that.
that was good. That was a. That
I
was,
didn't come up with that. That I can't take credit.
I was gonna say that's a TikTok moment.
I like this more.
Okay, so this is the interesting thing is you have a growing number of people who are having mocktails or non-alcoholic beverages or want more complex non-alcoholic beverages. Like it's an interesting thing because you look at the cocktail industry and you look at the alcohol industry and people are gravitating more towards complexity. It's like
Yeah.
the craft brewer phase. People
Yeah.
wanted different flavors, different things. They just weren't they weren't just going to settle with a Coors Light.
I had a Coors Light earlier,
I
and I
know you-
loved it. Okay, go to hell.
I know you did. That's why I said that. But the amount of people that are wanting to have a non impeding drink
Yeah.
is growing. This
Right.
is great.
So when you guys don't know this about me. When I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, no, I was driving. Junior in high school, I would show up to school every day and so insecure that I would need a coffee, a Dutch Bros coffee
Oh.
in my hand to have a normal conversation and feel normal because it was a barrier between you and me.
Yeah.
Right. So I just got used to it. So like I didn't know how to connect vulnerably with nothing in between us. So like I could take a sip, power pause, I
What do you
get
do
time
with
to
your
think,
hands? Mhm.
right? So I took it to the degree of I was walking around with empty cups. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
So I would, because I didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was just buying a.
This is the party
coffee
trick.
and
I don't
then
know what to
keeping
do.
it.
I'm gonna go get a drink. It's like
I'm
literally
gonna, yeah,
Saul's
I
time.
don't know what to do. I'm gonna go get a drink. So my theory on why complex drinks are quite popular is more of a human nature theory. So I think we need an icebreaker
Mhm.
that is
Yep.
extended.
Yep.
So this is an extended icebreaker. It's not
Yep.
just to break the ice,
Yep.
but it's actually keep breaking the ice.
Mhm.
We can talk about the flavors, the notes. We can come back to it in 10 minutes. If there's anything that's uncomfortable, I can come back to this and go, do you want another?
Mm-hmm.
And so drinks have been at the forefront of socialization.
Dude,
Well, it's food. It's like what
Uh-huh.
at the gravity of what those things represent aren't just the flavors. The flavors are the vehicle for experience with each other.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
we just did something amazing. It's like roller coasters. Roller coasters in a Michelin star restaurant are the same in my mind.
Roller coasters and Michelin star restaurants.
Oh my
Explain
gosh,
that.
we just had this crazy experience with all the chemicals in our body just
Oh.
fired off all at once and
Wow.
we
Yeah.
shared it.
That's right. Shared experience.
Ah.
Shared positive
So
experience.
there's a large number of people, like at the end of the day, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic, that is a preference based on a few factors, alcohol and AA and all those things. But like I feel I'm gonna in 2 years I'm gonna be like, do you remember when we were doing that podcast and we had that Lagunitas hops refresher? That
This
was cool,
guy-
wasn't it?
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Zero Alcohol Lagunitas Hop. Hoppy Refresher, the Lagunitas Brewing Company, Petaluma, California, Chicago, Illinois.
The drink you want to drink when you don't want to drink.
Boop, boom.
I'm gonna fucking neck it.
What does that mean?
What's necking?
Neck it?
Yeah, you just knock it back. Okay. Have you ever heard the theory of anything you enjoy? No, hold on. I want to say this correctly. Things that you enjoy are things that are bringing you closer to death and helping you flirt with it, or they're things that are leveling you up as a human. So think of a child. Even peekaboo, absence, presence, absence, presence, right?
Oh.
Most of the drinks or the extracurriculars, let's just start with drinks. They're doing that. So you're going to get caffeine. It makes you feel something that you don't feel.
Sure.
You get alcohol. It's bringing you closer to death. It's like an accordion where you're experiencing that. All the thrills that you seek, you are flirting with that feeling. So the danger of the non-alcoholic market is it's not going to do that. So you need to ignite something interesting. Now, the solution to that is you can do something that will level up people, right? So think of them as video game characters, and they want to buy a product that they think is going to make them a better human being. Not necessarily truly better, just perceived better. So I don't, maybe if, like going to the gym is a great example. That's not bringing you closer to death, but it's bringing you like closer to, I don't know, being a Superman or something like that.
Level up.
Yeah, it's a level up, right? So if you might have to market it in that style.
Level up.
Yeah,
Non-alcoholic
when you think about
Lagunitas.
marketing things, you want to think of things that are kind of dangerous, right? You go back to the OnlyFans example. That's a danger. Ooh, it gives you a thrill. But there can also be the,
Level up.
I go get juice from a juicery. That's leveling me up. People use
How do we sell a digital chastity belt?
I mean,
I want to sell a digital chastity belt.
How do you
People have done that.
digitally
It's
co-
the anti-fans.
no, people have done
the
that.
internet.
It's the thing. It was wildly unsuccessful.
It needs to be branded right. It needs to be branded
No, it was super
and
successful
bought
for
as
the
a spousal
Christian.
gift. It's
No.
from one spouse to another.
It's awful. It's
all I heard was get your digital genital cover.
oh Lord, that's a good start.
I'm sorry, man. I interrupted your.
No, it's great. I was ranting
interrupted
about like
too. I'm
bring you
sorry.
closer to death or not. When I think of marketing things, I try to think of those things, right? So,
Yeah.
I think I lost the train of thought. However, I think that would be your big obstacle if you were to try to sell
Yeah.
non-alcoholic.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this trend. Like, so in 5 years, will this exist? Or will it have been like, we tried it, people tried it, they liked it, and it didn't stick? Is it a sticky trend? I like this
so
right now, but I don't know if I'd go buy it.
Right, but the other thing is like, let me just kind of come back to the root of like what these things represent to us, and I think that's the question. If this was in a LaCroix
Yep.
can,
Yep.
would it be the same thing?
No, because it's this. Hey, producer man, Michael, could you bring me the hop water that you have? No, what's it called? Liquid Death. Bring me the Liquid Death. Yeah,
Liquid
bring it in. Bring it in. Can I see
Yeah.
it? Okay. So Liquid Death, right? So they just competed with LaCroix and they kicked their ass. Well, I don't know if they kicked their ass. LaCroix is probably better, but they have they're valued at $700 million in the latest raise, right? And it's all because they just rebranded it around death, like literal death. This is beer. Beer is not healthy. You just have to make it more badass and match your brand.
It's crazy how much people want to belong. Like, people will pay money to feel like they're a part of
Yeah.
a social group.
Oh yeah.
And we can do that with a product business in our hand.
I think the difference, because the amount of alcohol difference in these is nothing. They're the same product.
Yeah.
From that perspective. So I think that's why we're getting down to what is the difference then? Taste, right? Okay, cool. I like this more than this. But I think that's where we can't negate the fact of experience, where sitting around with a bunch of buddies having a beer and grabbing this is a little bit more of a
That's a good point. I would stock this at my house for buddies who don't want to drink a beer.
right, but
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to have a beer with the guys.
Right. And and we don't want to talk about Bruno.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
we just don't want to talk about it.
So then that question begs of this idea, how much of this is based on the experience that the product represents?
Yeah.
I like this.
Right.
I like
right.
this.
And the experience you're saying is essentially the conversation,
That's
the social
Bro, it's-
situation.
So I'm just gonna maybe point out in most product businesses coming from that field and being involved in products for a bunch of companies, like most people think of the product as the direct product value,
Right.
like-
Which is not true.
which is a part of the truth. Like this does
Right.
the thing for me, but what a lot of people don't think about is the experience that the product represents.
Dude, it's all signifiers. I told him this. You've heard the story of Freud's nephew, right? So Freud's nephew comes to America. A cigarette company hires him to sell cigarettes. They're not working, not at all. So he says, hey guys, let's make it a women's rights issue. He says women should be allowed to smoke cigarettes. Boom, cigarette sales skyrocket to what they are today. It's fantastic. It's because it represented a women's rights issue because people care about that. They don't care about cigarettes.
Okay.
It's perceived value.
That's right.
The other thing that I'm realizing in this conversation is you can backwards engineer the revenue that a human will spend based on two simple things that I haven't heard talked about often. One is their personal income as a consumer.
Yep.
Two is the amount of time your product is experienced.
Yes.
So if you look at a beer, why we don't avoid buying beers because they're like $3, $4, $2, whatever you're buying.
Yep.
Like even if we go to the bar and it's $7, we're actually buying an hour with a buddy.
Yes.
It's not about the beer.
I like that.
I am actually pretty agnostic to which beer I bought, but the beer companies are not agnostic. They're all competing for my hour.
Yep.
They're not competing for my taste buds.
Right.
Taste buds are a small percentage of it.
Well, it's. I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking for most guys, but I might be. Maybe that's what cigars are to me.
That's what cigars are.
I couldn't tell you the difference between that one and that one. They're the same color, but the experience of sitting around with some buddies smoking a cigar.
So I agree with you. So here's how I would use this. Like I would look at it through when I'm thinking about a new product, I would go, what's my revenue per minute of experience that my product causes? So you recently were COO of a product company that did $80 million of revenue.
Can we talk about
in
this?
a year?
Are we allowed to talk about this?
Talk about whatever you want.
So-
I don't know. I
so-
don't know
and
if I'm going to say anything.
I
that's
like
fair.
that. I like that product. Like you guys had this cool scratcher product
Yep.
that so it's called the Adventure Challenge. You guys could probably find it on TikTok or you can look it up. It is this cool product where I can scratch off an experience and I'm committing to my spouse or my friend or myself that I'm going to go do whatever experience is behind the scratcher.
Right.
And then there's a camera and I take photos of this experience as I'm doing something crazy. So like what's one crazy example in the product?
Oh, one of my favorites is where you take yarn and you string it across the room
Okay.
in all different directions, and you have to act. It's called
Lasers?
cat burglar, like
I have to-
lasers.
Oh, that's dope.
And you have to get through the room without
So it's
touching.
Playtime for
It's
adults.
playtime for adults.
Wow.
My
I
kid-
like that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to do that one. You don't like that one?
it.
I'm in the middle of painting my whole house, and I'm like, damn, this is holes I gotta paint.
So this scratcher product
Yes.
is how many dollars for an average book?
40 to 49,
40
depending on
bucks.
the product. Yeah.
How many hours of experience is represented in that $40?
Oh gosh,
A lot.
Probably a few hundred. Yeah, 100 something. I
What?
mean, you're looking at each product can take between.
So
2
40
to
bucks
10
is
hours.
nothing. So no
Yeah.
wonder it's sold off the shelves.
Yeah.
But
Like,
people
it
don't
just
think
hit.
like this.
No. They feel it. You feel it.
Right.
They don't think like this. I agree with you, but they feel
But
like
I'm
the
so I'm
value.
hesitant if I spend $40 on a pair of jeans, but I will spend $40 on lunch with you every single day.
One was an
that's-
experience and one was not.
Because-
That's my
okay,
counter.
You guys,
Was not an experience.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. What were you saying?
You guys are getting to, I think, the fundamental, which is people make values-based purchasing decisions more than they make just directly mechanical
Cost
purchasing.
benefit.
Right.
Valid.
So at the end of the day, and I think that's what it comes down to is we all have a set of core values. We all have a set of, I'm going to take that to a different direction. We all have a sense of aspiration
Okay.
of who we want to be.
Okay.
And the product
And we feel
that
that.
allows us to be who we want to be
Yep.
is the right product for
So
us.
That's
when
hilarious.
we're using the word experience, what I'm
Yeah.
picturing is I feel X for this amount of time. So the person who buys $200 jeans feels a certain way. They know they're wearing those $200 jeans. I'm in the same room as them. I don't know that. I don't know they spent $200 on
Valid.
jeans.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they spent $200 on the jeans. But the person who buys this $40 book product feels they pre-live in their mind's eye the hours of experience they
Okay.
will enjoy.
I like this. I have a theory, and this is how I think about products and all that stuff. You don't market to people's values, you market to their symptoms. So people say a lot of things and they feel a lot of
Right.
things. However, in reality, they act completely differently. So somebody can walk around and say, I value X, Y, Z, but truly, they're going to go buy the $200 jeans, even though they said they value
They're
frugality.
not aware. People
No, they're not aware. People don't get it.
self-aware.
Yeah, no, we're terrible. We're absolutely shit at being self-aware. Oh God, it's the worst.
We're getting better.
I'm gonna maybe bring this down one more level in a weird
Okay.
way. We think and feel 50,000 things a day.
Okay.
What we think and feel is not who we are, and I think we know
Okay.
that.
Okay.
How we behave is.
Our
We're not-
choices are
Our choices are no. Our action is who we are.
well, the action to click buy
Right.
is
At the end of the day, we assess ourselves when we go to sleep, not based on what we thought and feel that day, because chances are you can't remember what you thought 15 seconds
Oh.
ago, like goldfish.
goldfish.
And you can't even control what you think. Don't think of
Right.
elephants. Good luck. Good.
I
You
did.
suck. Right. So what we think and feel is actually mostly irrelevant. It's our aspirations based on our action.
Wow.
Today, I got angry at somebody. I don't like who I was. Okay, let's take that to a product side. Today, I connected with my spouse. I like that. So,
I chose to connect with my spouse.
right, our feelings aren't connected to our thoughts. Our feelings are our sense of aspiration is connected to our actions. And you're offering a product that allows somebody to take an action, to act in a sense of aspiration.
Okay, make my bounce house company better then. So I've been wanting to buy a bounce house company.
That's great.
Or buy 4 big $10,000 bounce houses and make one. But I'd rather buy a little company and then make it better. The reasons are I have 5 children and it's really expensive to rent the big bounce houses that I actually want for the birthday parties. And we do 5 birthday parties a year at the minimum. So I have been fascinated by the economics of this, and nobody wants to own a bounce house company. So actually the margins are quite good. So you run to the fringes where opportunity is. But thinking through this experience lens,
Yes.
what I'm really selling is the choice to go bounce for X amount of time and the way that that will feel
See, I don't
to
feel
2
like-
parties, the kids and the adults who get to have a alcoholic or non-alcoholic Lagunitas while we watch the kids bounce.
I think you're selling a good parent. Like the dad who shows up at the bounce house, he was a good parent.
Okay.
You're not selling the kid. The kid already wants that. Kid wants a pony, you know? The dad is like, I'm going to be the good father here.
Maybe it's different for all of us, but I don't buy that way. So I don't buy based on what I want to be or who I want to be.
Yeah.
I buy based on, like, in my mind's eye, I'm sitting on that patio with a couple buddies who also have kids my kids' age, and we're watching our kids bounce. And if the kids are fully entertained, I get a better discussion. And I also feel great about the time that my kids are enjoying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Your reason for purchasing
It's
is different.
time.
I would
Well,
say,
it's-
but think of your average purchaser.
I don't know. I'm
Well,
trying
you're talking
to,
about
but I'm
something
me.
that's bigger than you.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
kids
My
are bigger
kids'
than you.
experience
Yeah.
and my experience with friends at the same party. So what I'm trying to look at is the difference between me paying $100 for a cheap bounce house rental today and $1,000 for the mega bounce house today is a 10x spend on this 3-hour party, let's say. Like, I have a choice, 1x or 10x or somewhere in between. And it's based on the perceived value of how we will spend that time, which is only 3 hours. But I will literally feel, so if I do something like the $500 bounce house, that's really expensive for a birthday party.
Right.
But if we're bringing 30 kids to this party and there's lots of parents coming and I'm already spending $200 on drinks in the ice chests, I'm like really close to buying that $500 one instead of the cheap ones. Because imagine me buying the cheap small one. Now all these kids. So it's like time versus
I agree with that. I would, though, say that you are an anomaly.
You think I'm an anomaly?
Oh, I do think you are. Yeah.
I would say that you actually do measure that off aspiration
Okay.
because you are hoping that time allows you to achieve a good time
Connect
for
with
your
people,
kids.
other
and-
people connect, and my kids connect.
Right. So you You're looking at the action you would like to have during that
Yeah.
time. Because what you don't want, and this is where we feel misery when the bounce house it deflates, and you
Yeah.
spend the next 2 hours trying to figure out how to get it back to being inflated.
Right.
That's a
It's
broken
the experience
expectation.
I'm afraid of. Yeah.
Yes.
So I will buy to avoid that experience you
Yes.
just described. But also I'm like, okay, maybe I'll buy 2 of the $300 bounce houses, $600 of revenue for the company, because I want redundancy of kids flowing back and forth. I want to create flow. And again, the parents want to just sit and chat while our kids have a good time.
Yeah, I don't think that your customer's naturally going to do that.
I think they'll feel it. You don't think so?
They're not going to buy 2 bounce houses. No.
It's so subjective, though. I mean, at the end of the day, the equation comes down to, in the past, when I did things X, I
right.
achieved being the type of person that I wanted to be. The type of person that I want to be sees my kids happy and has a good conversation with their friends. That's who I want to be.
Yeah.
Does this thing get me that? I have...
Which is a binary.
Right, which is I have no money, so I'm not going to spend $500, so
Right.
I'm really bummed.
So if I have the money, then I'm going to do it. It's a binary.
Money allows you the ability to buy things that align with the action that you want to take.
One of the worst businesses that I ever did was make a lead gen business for small businesses. Yeah, you've been there. See the pain on his face? Doing a lead gen business for a business that already feels poor
Yeah,
is
that's
one of the
what I
most
was-
painful things. Like,
Did
if
you-
you have the
No.
choice,
Did
of-
you sell like profit sharing? Because that would maybe make it work.
I did not, unfortunately. So I just, I underpriced because the customer perceived the service to be cheap, or they perceived it to be important, but they weren't willing to take a financial risk to the level that would make me safe. So they wanted me to have all the risk. It was not a fair shared risk model. So I think a good business can be summed up in like, this is a good shared risk with me and my client.
This is good. We're kind of coming to the end. By the way, I'm on Alibaba right now looking at bounce houses, and it is so fun. You should just
Yeah?
take a look at it. It's so affordable and so doable.
If anybody in the private community wants to do a bounce house company,
I actually talked to
I-
the private community about it.
Did you?
Yeah, last time we did like the live or whatever.
okay.
Yeah, it was super fun. One of them recommended a festival. No, a convention that's happening right now in Florida. And I was going to tell you about
Around
it, but I
bounce
think
houses, I couldn't have gone anyway.
I know. So I was thinking, hey, next year, let's do it. This would be fun.
Oh man.
Anyways, I want to ask you, our guest,
Aaron.
good old Aaron, one of 2 questions. You can answer either. Are there any industries that you think are undertapped and like some awesome opportunities in there? Or do you have any business ideas of yourself? Like, yeah, I want to do this, but I don't have time, so somebody should do it.
Oh, undertapped. I actually do think AI is undertapped right now.
Right now?
Mhm.
Already?
Right.
Like-
Because
like not
because-
1 year from now, but right now.
right now, because businesses have the ability to mobilize on these resources. Every business wants a way to cut costs or make something more effective or efficient. There's only a handful of companies that are doing that are providing that ability. And so we come out with an AI tool and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like imagery right now. It's like we have Midjourney.
We made
and
hammers and you want to
OpenAI
drive nails.
Right.
But we need to teach people.
Right, but I
how-
only have like if I wanted to do so let me think. Okay, a business is a company that takes your ad performance and allows AI to readjust the imagery and the copy of your ads based on ads performance, so you get automatic optimization that's not human.
Damn. Are
driven.
there APIs for like Facebook and Google Ads?
This is what people
Not
do.
right
People
now.
do this for
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
But they
and
just do it
then
main- yeah.
chances are, if I'm thinking of it, somebody's doing it. Like that's the reality.
Well,
But-
no. People do it on their own though. They just
Right.
literally just have 25 iterations of the same ad, and they just say, "Hey, this one got the best click."
Yeah,
through,
I
let's
mean,
go."
we're okay. So for hundreds of years, we've created machines since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution to do to replace ourselves. We're always trying to replace ourselves. That's when we're the mechanism. When we're the go every day and optimize and do the same task over and over and over and over and over and over again.
No, I
we're
disagree with
not-
that. But keep going.
Wow. Keep talking, but I think you should
so
stop
you're
talking.
the type of I love this. For 50 years, you're okay with clicking the same button every day.
No, we're doing exactly one of 2 things. We're either trying to replace ourselves or we're trying to give ourselves hurdles. We do far things on either side.
Yeah, I don't think though. I think I mean, we're always looking for we're overcomers. I think I'm just saying biologically when I say go be a machine.
No, not even that. Like look at coffee right now. We perfected it in the 90s, and then we said, hey, we need a grinder. Give us a grinder. Wait, I don't need a grinder. Oh, that's weird. Oh, now you need a special pour spout. We literally create obstacles in industries just to make it harder on ourselves, so it increases perceived value.
But what I'm saying is right now the thing that we're going after is optimizing for the next thing, not for the past thing. We have
this is entirely what I'm so sorry. I'm
this is
hijacking
great.
it.
No,
this is entirely what hipster culture is built off of.
You're taking I'm taking a frame of as humanity we are always finding ways to replace ourselves with machines. When we are asked to be the machine, right?
No, I'm
not
disagree.
talking about.
Okay, let's take political parties. Republican Party. The trope is they're trying to go back to what it was, the good old days. The Democratic Party. The trope is that they're being progressive. We have a future, and that future is utopic, and we can get there, right? I
think we might be talking about two sides of the same.
I know,
coin.
but it's a really fun argument.
No.
We're arguing.
If I'm producing shoes,
I feel like you guys aren't even disagreeing. You're
No.
talking
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
a cherry grape.
So we're talking about if I'm saying produce shoes,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
saying what people are wanting to do is let me go into my craft shoemaking business and produce 30 shoes that are incredible.
Right.
Sure.
That's real.
But the robotic part is I make leather soles every day for the next 10 years.
So if I said produce 5,000 shoes, because in the last 50 years the population has doubled and we've actually needed these productive mechanisms to keep up with the scale of population, and if without them we would actually have honestly probably not been in a good place, because we need 30 shoes that are incredible and we need 5,000 shoes that gives people shoes. My point is over here when I say push the same button every day on the shoemaking machine, people don't want to do that every day for the rest of their lives. They do want to go make craft shoes. So what we probably need is 500 people that can produce 30 shoes that can make 15,000 shoes. Like we probably need that.
So the better the technology has become, the more it frees us up to do craft.
Right. Like we're not in a mechanical revolution. What AI is affording us is a creative revolution, right?
I agree so much. So I was listening to the OpenAI CEO talk this weekend, and he said, 10 years ago, me and a bunch of other smart people thought that AI was going to come for our blue collar jobs first.
Right.
And then it was going to come for our information jobs.
Right.
And then it was going to come for our decision maker jobs. And then it was going to come, or maybe never come, for the creative jobs. We've seen literally the exact opposite as AI has taken shape and it's done self-learning. The creative is far better than thought.
Yep.
And what that's done is unleashed creatives
Yep.
to be able to create more, better, faster.
Yep.
Because the tool is just working well for that.
Right.
And the decision makers are getting more insight faster. Chat GPT.
Totally.
We can just ask it a better question than Google. I can just ask a more insightful question, get a more insightful answer. Well, when I'm making a decision, that's like all I need. I need some quick input from somebody who won't, I don't know, fight with me. I don't want the emotion. I just want the input.
Right.
Like, then we're going to see it come into the information jobs. Then we're going to see it come for the blue collar jobs. But it'll be an upgrade for everybody.
Right. This is always, it always comes back to, do you want a faster horse? I mean, that whole thing of like we always look at these things in our own current perspective. And I'm not going to go down this pathway because this isn't the time, but the history is really the best teacher.
Yeah.
It really, really is, because you're able to see how not just an individual responded with a challenge, you see how humanity responded in understanding. And I'm not going to go down that path. What I am going to say is, you said it, you were talking about it earlier, empathy. Empathy is the root of innovation, right?
Whoa. Sure.
Like you understanding somebody else's pain.
That's about right.
In bringing a solution to their pain in a way that actually solves the problem is what we would consider innovation.
And is that why inventors often go bankrupt? Because they have the empathy for why this should exist, but they don't actually have the callous to build a business.
Right. So the what I'm looking at is when you look at history, you look at circumstances where individuals empathized with a problem with a section of people and brought a solution. I actually think there's also, oh man, this is
No, you're totally wrong. Sociopaths can be extremely great innovators.
I think you need more alcohol in your non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, you're probably true. Obstacles create innovation. So empathy has great applications within innovation. However,
obstacles there's 15 solutions to an obstacle, but at the end of the day, it's about how you tear it down, not tearing it down, right?
yeah, but like empathy is a little bit more of a greater good scenario. We're splitting hairs at this point. However, I don't think that empathy is required for good innovation. I actually think it's maybe
We didn't
even
say
complete.
required.
We didn't say
At the
required.
root of.
You said
Yeah.
it is the root of it, and I disagree with the root. It is
Okay,
not
so
the root.
why do you want to get rid of the obstacle?
If I'm a sociopath and I cannot feel empathy,
No,
and
I'm not
I'm
even
at my
saying.
house,
I'm not even saying if you're a sociopath.
Right.
Why do you want to get rid of the obstacle?
overcome it. I think it's a natural human.
Why do you
need.
want to overcome?
It's an inclination. We want to level up. It is a
Okay, so
human desire.
why?
But that has nothing to do with you feeling something. That has to do with me
No,
feeling
that.
something.
But if I see you have an obstacle because you want to overcome it, and I bring you a hammer, why is that?
That's
not
great. Now that can
innovation?
go two ways. You can say, "Man, this is great. I get the level up. Wow, I found the solution. He's going to pay me. I'm rich." So that would be you being able to coldly and flatly identify what he's doing. Now that does not mean that you care about what he's doing. That's just
Oh.
allowing you to. Empathy is an
At the
interesting.
beginning,
Then let me- then
at
let
the
me-
word.
beginning maybe, but now there's so many products for so many
Yeah.
problems
Yeah.
that I think the only way to invent something that will actually be adopted is to empathize with people's problems.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, we call it in business. Okay, and I'm just going to stop it
This
here,
is
here
great.
and
This
say,
is funny. This is funny.
why do we then say, why do we call them pain points? Why do we call them solutions to pain points?
Yeah. I want to sell you Tylenol because you have a headache.
Why do pain points matter if it's not about empathy? Why does pain in that thing matter in the market when we're talking about solving a pain point?
He's just saying you might want to level up yourself and make money. So it was insightful. And I'm saying that insight was empathy.
No, I don't think it's empathy. It can be. I do like sociopaths.
Oh.
They have no ability to feel empathy,
Oh.
and
So
they
the
can
definition of empathy is
why
up
would
for
it not
debate
be?
now.
Why would it not be considered empathy for yourself?
because empathy is my ability to feel what you feel. It
But-
is truly tied to another person.
But it's tied to emotion, and I think that's the question, right?
yeah, but
It's like,
emotion is a
as
basic human thing. It's
Sociopath, and I'm saying this because I've worked with some. As a sociopath,
son, I am one. Let me tell you.
I am a sociopath. No,
I do know a lot of narcissists.
I'm not one.
and narcissists can make incredible businesses.
I feel
because-
bad.
because-
Narcissist has a bad rap these days. It is not truly what
Well,
it is.
this should have a.
Wow.
Well, no. It's a
Wow.
word that people throw around like gaslighting. But you guys don't even know what gaslighting means.
No, people don't. People
funny.
aren't qualified to consider to say what a narcissist is. It's just like everybody's diagnosing each other, and it's stupid. My point is
great.
even if I feel pain or a barrier emotionally, and I'm the only person that matters, then is it not still having an ability to connect with an emotion to help overcome a problem that's still the root of that? Whether the emotion is in me or somebody else is inconsequential.
This is a great conversation for much more non-alcoholic beer.
I feel
that we
like
should definitely have.
this
It's-
episode should be titled the headiest episode.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. So back
What are you
to
sorry for?
No. It's great. It's really enjoyable. Kendall can't talk like this, so it's fantastic
That's
that we can
right.
finally
I
do
can't do the talking so good.
Shut your face. Yes, you
it.
can.
You're such really good at this, man.
There was a point though at the end of the day, I think, where were we at? We were at it. There was a root. There's an unclosed loop. Where's the unclosed loop?
I don't really care.
We're talking
I
about
don't
empathy
care
and the
about
context
you
of
or
innovation.
anyone else. I have to pee. Let's go.
Okay, yeah. So you think AI is an untapped industry? If you're right now and you have a 9-to-5 job and you're desperate to quit it, how do you do it? Give me a very quick, concise way to do that.
You go create value in something you want to create value in.
Via AI, what do? You
No,
say, "Hey, I do
no.
AI services," and
You- Wait, are we
create
talking about
value.
AI or are we talking about getting out of your 9 to 5?
I want to get like a normal, practical, like, "Hey, this is actually a doable solution."
Yeah,
Oh,
so like, okay, there's 100 college students listening to this who want to use Chat GPT to make some money and pay off school.
Yeah.
So what would you do if you were them?
Go find 15 businesses that need better content because content is marketing.
Content? Okay.
And say, hey, I'll write content for you. I'll produce content for you. Utilize those tools to do it. Utilize
Just use AI to be your team.
Well, at the
Don't
end of the
even tell
day,
them.
it's
Yeah.
tools. AI is tools. It's a
Yep.
tool set. It's a tool set to produce a result. That we just got better tools. Whether it's you're writing the copy as a person or you're using AI, at the end of the day, get out and actually produce value.
Okay, how would you do that? Would you go knock on doors? Would you
I'd go
hold
knock.
it-
I would do whatever it took.
I would
I'd go
go to
knock
the
on doors.
local, like the chamber meetups or
Oh,
whatever. If you have a
that's a good
chamber
idea.
of commerce,
Go-
you just show up and
Yeah.
be like, "This is what I'm doing. I'm a Gen Z."
Yeah, go to the chamber. Go to. I mean, like those connection groups are a dime a dozen in a lot of cities.
Yep.
Go build relationships and create value in those relationships. Somebody was asking me the other day, like, how do I go and tell the city what I want because I want to produce a thing? And it's like, actually go find somebody who has time, money, and resources, and go ask them what they're doing and see if you have a way to create value for them. And once you do that,
Yeah.
they will give you the
Don't
time,
sell
money, and
stuff
resources to
to
do
people
something.
who don't have time or money.
Right.
Like if
Uh,
look for people who have time and money, go solve a problem for them.
Right.
Yeah, that's. I was talking to one guy the other day, and he was talking about how, hey, dude, don't do a D2C business. Just do a D2B business because customers don't have budget. Businesses have budget. Just do it. It's going to make your life so
It's a
much easier.
generalization.
Yeah,
but
obviously, it's a really
But that's
really
where
easy
he's
general.
coming from.
But no, that's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, go to the Chamber of Commerce or find somebody who has a
Okay.
surplus of. Oh, God.
I'm being a weirdo here because I don't take approaches that everybody else
You
does,
believe
but
in
I find
empathy.
somebody. Not
Shots fired.
apparently not to the left.
so
Okay.
Okay, you weirdo.
I'm gonna say find like I see somebody and I go, they're trying to solve a problem in our city. They're building all these businesses. They're doing all these things.
Yeah.
I ask them the question, what do they need? I need this, this, and this. Do I have the tools to give it to them? If I do, and if you ask 5 people
Right.
that, you will find somebody that's
You'll
like,
find
I
good
need
work
this.
that you'll get
Hey,
overpaid for.
Let me help you with that. I'm not
Yeah.
even going to charge you a lot. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to create value. I'm going
you
to
will
do
pay
something
me
that solves your
if it's
problem.
valuable. Yeah. So what you just said, Dustin, of like selling something to businesses
Yeah.
instead of the consumers.
Mhm.
I was like, why wouldn't we, next time a restaurant opens, why wouldn't it be the business restaurant?
Mm.
We all eat cheaper in theory because it's a tax write-off when we swipe the business card for that. But if you set up your booths, your service, your menus, your order ahead, everything for privacy and business purposes, I bet the experience could still be elevated in a way we would like, and it would be optimized for the business
You're talking
meeting.
about a restaurant specifically for business meetings
Yeah,
and business
the way
ventures.
you market it, the positioning, the advertising, I bet it would work.
What if it was like grocery stores do like elderly hour, right? What if you just did that with restaurants? Say,
Business
hey,
hour. Yeah, it could be a
between
marketing plan.
10
Yep.
to 4 p.m. Sorry, guys, it's only business meetings.
So what does that restaurant look like?
I don't know. Next time
Not Chipotle.
on Idea Drop.